This DJ's so funky, man.
On 3, 2, 1. Activate.
This is the RDDC podcast. Welcome to the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host Lex, coming to you straight from the heart, where the talk is real and the vibe is always live. I hope you're feeling fantastic, awesome, and blessed, because here, serving a slice of everyday life is what RDDC is all about. For any questions, show requests, or feedback, as always, you can reach us at Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com. That's Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com. And for anything else you want to check out, motivational videos, tips, contests, trip giveaways, prizes, our apparel store, our book links that are at the bottom of the blog, and so much more. You can always reach us. And, of course, our topics that we have and different in-depth conversations that are coming will be kind of displayed on there, but we're going to have a book coming to you, and that's at realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. That's realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. We still have Anthony playing around with the side effects and sound effects, but at the same time, I can't blame him for that. I'm so sorry, and I'm so happy to be back here with you all. It's been a struggle. Hashtag it has been a struggle, and not to have a pun to our other segment, The Struggle, but it's been quite a journey. I've been having some hospital things go on, so yeah, it's been kind of out of commission. I've been moving slowly and surely, but it's not fun to move around with a major pinched nerve and just a couple other things in there that could slow a person down. So at the end of the day, it almost feels like the same way you want to tell someone, if you feel like you shouldn't say anything, just to throw it out there in the universe so something doesn't happen, that feeling.
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
That's how it feels. So I'm not going to keep talking about that because I'm still a little bit in pain. Now, I do have, some painkillers going on. I have my massager going on, but, tendon rupture and so forth like that, it can really set you back a little bit now. It really can. But I missed you all, and I thank you for your support, and I thank you for your emails that still came on and just tagging along with us. And today is our 14-day mark, and our shows were supposed to go on, and I had a couple coming, but I'm telling you, it's beautiful, because a slice of everyday life is exactly what we talk about when things happen, and you guys' questions that come in for the family, and being able to deal with our own struggles. I'm glad to have these struggles, not necessarily the pain, but the struggles that come along with life, so we can relate to many levels. A lot of people I've seen downtown are dealing with, multiple things. Some people are going in for multiple cancer issues, multiple surgeries, multiple chemotherapy, multiple just feeling sick and under the weather, benign things. It's so many things going on. You don't know, but at least you have someone to relate to that. And I mean, when I get to the point of pain to where I can't even stand up or let alone dress myself or lay down for a moment without screaming, that's when I don't come on RDDC for a show, because I want to give you at least a good supremeness that you all deserve. We all deserve the best. And even if I can't give 100% of it, I'm still going to try to give you at least 99%, if not 98%. But, I'm still in the flesh. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and start this conversation and say thank you for helping ignite the hearts and the souls of the world, as always. And I want to touch down on having a segment based on hashtag no more. Now, I have other conversations. I say hashtag a lot. It's just in my vocabulary now. Not that I'm on Twitter all the time, but it just feels good, like Real Double Dose Channel, gotissues.com, just making up random puns. But I have different segments that I want to touch base on, but for some reason this one since yesterday has been sticking with me, and it's no more, and it comes from the same thing. Even though I've been going through pain and hardships, I've had to deal with still those little creepy spiders and quote people that we have in our life that still want to pull from you without themselves. Just having to ask you for things or be within your life without even really demanding or asking things of themselves. It's no more, and this is concerning material matters, business matters, life matters, love matters. It's a slice of everyday life is what this no more is all about. Every segment we have is about everything you can apply to it in your life, whether it be your biggest obstacle is fitting in those pants, the struggle, whatever you can apply to that you need to upraise yourself and upgrade yourself into that zone. You can use these segments to help better serve you in those purposes of gaining more clarity and insight and strength that we all do from each other. This is a family. You're a part of the family. Either you heard this episode once or twice, you're still a RDDC family, and that's just the way it is. Love, love, love. Let me go on this no more. Now let's take a page from a book here. I'm not going to say whose book. We're just going to say a book. And I'm passionate about everyone's... okay, I'm freehand miking here, so I'm moving around a little bit. I got to get comfortable with my little ice pack on my pinched nerve back. So, but at the same time, I'm passionate about everyone's life because it's just something that is a part of me. I get very excited for what they are, and not necessarily on a hate rant like they are, but I understand where they're coming from. But, when people come in your life and they just want to take, and they're not willing to give anything at all. Not their time, not their energy, not their conversation, not even barely their love or caring. Point in case for someone else's life I know, he is always giving this lady so much of himself, always giving her the jewels of her heart, taking her out, being sweet. But when he has a cold, she can't even call or text him to say, hey, are you feeling okay? That's number one. Number two, I'm in the neighborhood. Do you want some freaking, I get egg drop soup. You want some chicken noodle soup or something? Okay, what's the excuse? Go to the store and buy a canned chicken noodle soup if you don't know how to make it from scratch, which most of us would do anyway. What's the problem? But when it's time for that person to have something, they're there. Quote, no more. Hashtag no more. No more of that drama, right? It's just no more of a lot of things. For me, it come down to my back hurting. Not a word, nothing. Of course, my beautiful mother was there to help lift me up, and the infinite source of creation who always guides me and keeps me going. But it was a very helpless feeling to not have anyone that you have. Like all these numbers that sit on our phones, all these people connected to our social media accounts, but we cannot find one of them that we rather call in a situation, whether it be pride or not, knowing that I don't know them like that to really be there for me. So I kind of think like, no more. Why even have them in my Rolodex? And it's like, just in case. I get it. But it makes you really think about all these things. And no matter what conversation we have, it can always be based on every conversation we have because it's serving a slice of everyday life. And it's always a jumble of it. But when are we going to say no more? When are we going to say no more to giving everything that we have? And that's not to the dreams and hopes that we have. It's to actually doing the things that we know we're capable of, right? So no more to slacking off and laying down and not doing anything. No more to putting yourself, discrediting who you are and what you can't do because you might feel like you're a failure. No more to listening to negative people and dealing with crap. But also that line stems from the same thing. No more dealing with people who want to take from you, who want to just drive you in the ground. There's nothing wrong. And even if I see a homeless guy in a corner, I'm still going to go out there if I have singles on me and not a credit card, obviously. I might give him $2, $5, whatever I'm feeling. That's up to me. And regardless of whatever he does with it, I don't know. I'm getting a cue right now that my volume is going up and down from me moving the mic. But I feel relaxed right now. I'm in the zone. My voice is a little scratchy, but I'm here. I'm talking to my family. So, regardless if that person's going to go buy a beer or get high. That's not my concern. My concern is knowing that I gave them something that I was supposed to give them at that exact moment. And that's all that matters. So that's not the rest of it. But no more has to be for me and myself as well. I can't keep dealing with people in my life that want to, hey, Lexa, do you think you could just send me, $400 or $500, to get some things done? Oh, sure. Just pop it out my hat. Yeah. 2 days later, hey, Lex, do you think you could, and I'm kind of like, well, I don't want a relationship with this person. And it's just a basic friendship, and it's a little deeper. You get to those fun times, but it's not on any kind of level. I'm a very platonic person, have been, and I preserve myself as such physically for the levels of where I need to be. So I don't never worry about the you gotta marry me hashtag. You gotta be my baby's daddy. You have to do this, and everybody wants to live their life. That's them. That's what they have to do, and they have to live with every day. But I live mine by a certain code within myself. So it's obviously not from that, but they just don't have any comprehension of stopping. And I had to tell myself that. Like, I was like, oh, well, I want to tell them after $700 later, within a freaking week and a half, it didn't even come down to the money. It was more like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want people like this in my life. Like, why would I want this? I don't care if we've known each other for 25 years. If you have a drug habit, if you have an attitude habit, you have a life habit, why are you coming to me? Oh, because your family turned you down possibly, or you have no one else to turn to, or you just want to be greedy for a person that has a tremendously great heart. People feed off the good when they want to continue bad, but they're not willing to step into the good to leave their bad behind. That is the truth of a lot of matters. All I know is I had to stop it, and before I can get to that point where I'm kind of Aries, fire, kind of sporadic, just make a decision on point and like boom, it's done. But then I had to look at it and say, it's not even about making a sporadic decision. I've calmed that down over the years very well, I would say. My mother helps level me out a lot, when you have those talks with someone you love. But at the same time, it came down to no more. It was just no more. I was like, look, do your journey, do whatever you want. If I have to have a friendship like yours, I don't want it. And I definitely don't need it. If you have to be in a friendship with someone who's constantly pulling after you, a relationship that's constantly needing of you, and you feel like you're emptying yourself, if you constantly have to clock into a job that is dragging you down, not by just the weight of you not wanting to do anything or do your job correctly, but you're doing all you can and maybe some more, and you're putting in the work for it, and you just don't feel it. You have to readjust your frequency on what you're doing. You have to understand there is a point of no more limitations. You have the no more dealing with yourself, not being able to do things you want to do, pushing yourself forward, listening to negative people. There's thin lines between the no more. The no more is in the motivation yourself and moving yourself forward. Okay, there's another line. Throw a slash in there. There's a no more with tolerating people's BS. Simple as that. Tolerating your own BS, someone else's BS, the same simple thing. And it doesn't even matter if this person wants money or material things from you. It could be your time. It could be your energy. It could be them asking for the same advice over and over, but yet they keep going in circles and circles. And all the while you think, oh, it's just a few minutes of a conversation. But that few minutes of a conversation just took a few minutes out of your life from what you have to do. And it's not the point of the conversation taking minutes away. It's the point of what kind of conversation are you having with the minutes that were taken away. Simple as that. The same thing I just told you last week and last week. Now, some things have to be reconditioned over and over. But if you start feeling yourself being pulled down, I got to a point. We get to points where I had no more. I had no more left. I had no more. And I still don't. My cup is so empty with these people and these circumstances and these positions I put myself in, whether it be business, material, money, love. You get to that point where you're to the edge and you are backed in a corner. There's nothing else that you can do except say no more. Cut it off. Right? If your right hand or your left hand causes you to offend thee, cut it off. Simple as that. So I could say, well, this segment's going to be about cut it off. Or I could say no more. It doesn't matter. Either way, it still means the same thing. Cut it off. No more. Leave it alone. Now, if that person or situation, I believe I heard on the radio the other day, it's called the situationship, the new thing that's going to be hopefully added to the dictionary. If the situationship doesn't get better, then maybe that's what it should be. If all things are meant to be in your life, they will consistently be added if you're not allowing those things to flow. But for me, I'm like, look, you have to change the course of things to be no more. You cut it off and say no more, whether you let those things back in or not. Has it changed in order for you to let it back in? Has it been to another course for you to let it back in? So that's the whole thing for me. If people want to be a part of my journey, that's fine. But if you've been taking this whole time, or it has been taking this whole time, and my cup is still going down empty, it means something has to give. And I've given enough for me to be able to say, or you to be able to say, or we can say no more. When you say no more, it means you've been tolerating what's been making you have to say no more. Whether it be your actions from the things not working out, whether it be how tired you are, there comes a time, like all the people losing their lives, just ignorant stuff people do out here. There's enough BS going on to last us 1,000,000 years. We don't need more in our personal little miniature circles. That's the whole thing about no more. No more is just the way it is. I might have another segment called the situationship, #situationship. But at the same time, it's just, it's something that can always be. It's a situation and a relationship, or a friendship, something with the, I'm not even gonna say it, but yeah, it's just no more. And you have to draw the line for when it's time. Don't keep pushing yourself to the point where you say, I wish I would have said no more a long time ago, or I should have just backed away from this a long time ago. I live with that notion every day. But I try to do the same thing most of us do. We push ourselves to the whole brink so we can at least say we did all that we could, or at least what we could give or do at the time towards anything we could. Whether it be a person working 80 hours a week and 75 hours a week, or 40 hours a week, and just saying, I can't deal with this anymore. I've done as much as I can. I've been through it. The arguments, clocking in, coming in late, people yelling at me. I can't do it. It doesn't matter. You come to your breaking point. And that breaking point should be the discovery of a new point. So don't ever let it knock you down and break you down to where you just stay so low that you feel like it's 1,000,000 times over to get back up, right? Because if you can fall on your back, if you fall down and you can look up, you can get up, as Mr. Les Brown says. If you look up, you can get up. So if you fall, don't fall face forward. Fall on your back so you can keep looking at the sky that you're going to. Don't let anyone hold you down or hold you back. Yeah, it might be times where you need a week or two, even maybe a couple days or so, maybe some hours. I'm not saying months. Some people work that way, where you need to reassess yourself and reevaluate. But don't mourn over the situation. Don't let it hold you down and back. I'd rather be angry than depressed, because anger means you're moving forward past that. At least you can say, okay, we're moving somewhere, instead of just being sad and so forth. But it's how your body and your mind take it. But don't ever say no more to a situation and yet have the biggest regrets about that no more, because you might as well have said yes, come in, instead of saying no more. Because if you're going to constantly rehash and relive out that constantly, I shouldn't have said no more, what's the point of it? The whole point. It's just a fed up breaking point of a rejuvenation of yourself and your circumstances, whether it be your business, life, like I said, all the above. Where have be someone in your life who you've been with for 3 or 4 years. Most of us don't want to leave relationships behind because we say, well, we've given so much and spent so much time and my family knows them. Or who cares? That your family doesn't have to live and wake up with that person every day. And they can have a relationship with that person. Just tell them to stay the heck away from you. Simple as that. Like, the whole thing is, don't live your life by someone else's standard or someone else's time. Don't use your energy to make someone else completely happy and forget about yourself. Because if you're not satisfied and happy within yourself, I guarantee within due time, everything that you hold within that is going to fall apart at some way. some shape, way, or form. And if you can manage to get it off until you're 110 years old, then hey, write down a book and send us the link so we can have a secret. But the whole thing is happiness dwells within what you have too. You can't allow the no more aspect to get you down. Now, if it comes down to no more, I'm going to get my business on track. No more, I'm going to listen to this negative stipulation. No more. It can be hard when you're used to having yourself conditioned to certain people in your life, certain factors, certain circumstances. It can be very difficult at times, but at the same time as you know already from the fact that you're already at the no more point that it needs to be done, it needs to be said, it needs to be heard. So you have to feel that strength and why you're even thinking about it or saying it or having that come into action in the first place. Hold on to that. If you're feeling like my friend that I know that I just mentioned about him doing everything over and beyond and still feeling like he's empty inside, even when he's quote with this person, and the things I go through with the quote people or extended family in my life, it's just the whole point of that. You have to learn how to cut it off. We have to understand what no more means. Doesn't mean, okay, you're done, I'm forgetting about you. It just means you can see more of the true colors when you tell them, hey, I'm not going to allow you to take anything else from me. I'm not going to overextend myself for it. I'm not going to slack off and be completely lazy in the fact that I care about you, but I'm going to slack off on the extra things I do because I love you. But sometimes I need to have that in return. Sometimes I need that friendship back in return. We don't have to go to expensive restaurants and places. We could just go out for a nice little walk, or come on over with a banana and some apples and grapes and let's sit down and talk. Come on over and go to the dollar store. Just hang out with me. Let's spend 99 cents if you're thinking that's what I'm talking about. Or why don't you come over and spend some time with me and ask how I'm doing? Why don't you just have a conversation with me where we can just have a few in a row, call me for a couple of days and not have to make me be something that you need or an assistance of. You get where I'm coming at and you feel what I'm saying. If you can't, listen to this again and I'm pretty sure it'll hit you somehow. We have to understand the defining lines between no more and no less. No less will we be to ourselves, put ourselves down to a point to where we feel like we have to overcompensate for their friendship or their relationship or the things that we have going on. Or we feel like we have to deal with the place when we know there's 20 applications and 20 other jobs possibly waiting for us. We could extend ourselves by going there for a little while and just seeing what our options are open, or we could just make the workplace better, whatever it might work. Okay, building your own business, whether it be making your relationship better at home, one picture at a time, one brownie at a time. There's always a way to make things better. But when it comes down to the other half of no more, of making sure you're not the rag that's used and thrown to the side until someone else needs to wring you out and will use you again. You need to figure out the defining lines of where and when is your no more. No more is all there is to it. But as always, you can be the change, feel the passion, and embrace this power of the spirit. That's what we're all about for our, little levels of momentum here. Don't mean to go over, but you see and you hear what's going on. The schedule for me, for my no mores, has been to get things more aligned on what they have to do, where they work for me. Not necessarily less of a workload, quote, per se, but more of a distribution of my time towards the things that I have that need to get done priority first. So this is my first day into it. More time to physically get better, but mentally put myself in the supercharged mode. And that's what I'm going to do. So I love this. Put your no mores to use today, whether it be in the fields of perpetuating yourself completely forward and taking out the darkness and making sure all the light just shines in enough to keep out anything that tries to bring you down. The other side of that is also having the no mores for people trying to take more out of you than you don't even have to give for yourself, whether material means, mental means, or whatever. No more. Don't take anything you don't have to deal with. don't deal with it. Responsibilities in life, that's fine. I get it. But don't take anyone's drama or BS. Don't take their crap. You're not a freaking garbage collector, as my mother says. You're not a dumpster. If someone wants to sift through the trash that's going on in their life or in life general with you and have a decent conversation where you're up to par with the conversation energy-wise and mental-wise, that's different. But when the person comes over and starts, hey, well, here, take all my trash from last week and the week, making you stink while they go home feeling fresh and empty, then you really have to look at things. So, yeah, hashtag no more. Get it together, get it right, and stay exactly who you need to be moving forward. So, as always, this is your host, Lex, coming to you straight from the heart. Thank you for all your hearts and your conversations and questions. We'll be coming back with more and a special guest coming up very soon that we're hoping he'll get done with his travels in Florida. So, and maybe a couple other people and surprises, but you can always sign up for some free trips. And I don't know who would pass by a nice free trip. So, without further ado, I'm going to let you go. And as always, reach us at Real Double Dose Channel at yandex.com. That's Real Double Dose Channel at yandex.com for any inquiries, your questions, or just feedback. And you can also just check out the blog at Real Double Dose Channel. .blogspot.com. We also have, I've said before, the YouTube channel and so much more coming up on our Instagram and so many things, and a store too that we have launched with another partner that you can get some really cool, almost free items that are really banging out the park that make you just look better, feel better, and give some gifts. Have a lot more coming up, but this is to touch base and let you know I'm here, we're not going nowhere. And we appreciate your love. So as always, stay blessed, stay true, only you, be the change, feel the passion, embrace the power of the spirit, and we'll be back with you lovely familians soon.